Welcome. This is an intro to navigation and use of the point of sale as a manager. Right now we're logged in as a manager or admin who has the ability to see pretty much everything in the software. On the left hand side here we have a menu which gives us access to different sections, for example the product catalog. At the top we have this home page setting which gives us access to our menus or whatever else we have laid out on the system. We might have some different types of menus on the left hand menu side. If you see the search bar, not all systems enable this. We have orders. Orders allow you to filter previous purchase history, so you can put in a date range in the past to pull up previous sales. You can look at suspended transactions. These are ones that might be house accounts or orders that you suspend for longer than a period of 1 day. You can do filters on a sale type or on employees. So we can look at active employees or terminated or just employees that are on the clock. We can view the transactions in different kinds of ways. So we can look at it by a list. We can sort by different methods, choosing the sort values. Also from the screen we can start orders, and depending on the screen we might have other view types such as a prep area. If you're doing preparation of orders, say online orders that you need to package and fulfill, you might see a prep button up here. We can also look at scheduled orders that would have a future date. To continue on the toolbar from the top, we have a scan. This is always available, and it allows you to start orders by just scanning an item, or continuing an order by scanning another item. Right now we have the wizard enabled, so if you see this allows you to get to the sections that you need to set up before you can begin using the software. And of course we have a new order button, or sometimes you might just see the first letter of an order, say T or P. That could be takeout or pickup or phone order. If you want to display more than one order type as a new order, you would just see an abbreviation of the order. Once you have an order open, you'll see the little cart view, so you'd see the number of items on the transaction. And once you have an order selected, you might see a side panel here, or you might be at the edit cart view. As a manager or admin, you have more options. For example, here, if you scan an item on a transaction, if you just wanted to, say, quickly edit an item, you can scan it into a transaction. You could choose edit catalog like we just did, pull up the item, change the price, exit out, and get rid of that item. So it's a nice quick way to modify products that you might need to. So say you have a bottle that you need to change the price for, we can just hit edit catalog, add the new price, and then at that point, from then on, it will be adding that $14.65. When you look up people, you have the option to actually view their information. So as a manager, you can go back into their transaction history, and we can look at their closed orders by date range or the past 90 days, 60 days, etc. So you have a little bit more options on seeing transactions that your regular staff might not be able to see. And here we can also edit their points, their rewards points. So there's some places, some features you might need to edit for a customer. Typically a manager or admin can also suspend an order, but this is also an authorization, so you might not even enable it for yourself depending on your business method. Something you might have seen in the cashier training videos are these menu toggles options. So just keep that in mind. You might also have them up on here on the side, though it's not necessary that they exist. And that's something we'll be covering in editing your catalog and working with products later on. There are also adjustment types and adjustment reasons. These things are all covered when going through the app setup guide. So you can always re-enable the app setup guide and walk through this to see these sections that most people would need to do when they get started. For example, adjustment reasons would be voids, refunds, and the reasons why you're doing that void. It prompts you for a little message that you would select. Also, during our training, we'll be reviewing some things like these buttons here, and it's good to note that you won't necessarily see these when you're logged in as a staff. So edit order is something that changes the metadata of a transaction, your dates, your times, things that are fundamental to the order, but things that a cashier would not need to be able to access or change. And so it's good to understand that these things kind of exist and they depend on who is logged into the system, and then that determines how that person interacts with the system, whether or not they have those options. So it's important to note that when you are logged in as a manager, you see more of these options. If you don't, then you might not be logged in as a manager. And if you do see them when you're logged in as a cashier, you would understand that maybe they have privileges that they shouldn't have, or that you've given more privileges than you might see in some of our other videos. So if you're watching the videos and you don't see these options, or you do see these options, it really depends on the settings that you have enabled for your staff members and yourself. For example, many locations don't rely on inventory, they simply rely on a catalog. This is a good stopping point for an introduction to the navigation and settings, intro to settings of the software.